subscribe.
And if you saw them two walk into a nightclub, suited and booted, respectable, they'd just sit there quietly, look around, and they had that look about them, you know what I mean, that nobody would mess around.
I think it was rather like the arrival of a film star, and this was the George Raft effect. You know, they'd walk in looking rather menacing, and they always had acolytes with them, always a following, an entourage. They were just surrounded by men. And it was this sort of arrival of the twins. And a silence would fall. They did have an aura.
In the end, you got this pair of linked, paranoid schizophrenics who were in charge of London but not in charge of themselves.
I mean, it was the thing with Reggie and Ronnie. If Ronnie did something, then he would like, Reggie thought he had to do it as well. And that's how they was. He does it, I'll do it. Like, you know, you can do it, I can do it. Ronnie's shouting out to him. But if you're going to shoot anybody, make sure you shoot him in the head, like I did Cornell. Out loud. Maybe because of Ronnie killing Cornell, he thought he had to do a murder as well. If a man's going around saying, he's going to kill me, he's going to kill it, I don't blame you or anybody else for killing a person who's going around saying he's going to kill you.
Because the nature of homicidal schizophrenia is that it gets worse. And also, as the battles went on between them, the battles for dominance continued and got worse and worse. They had to behave like Jimmy Cagney would, or any of the or George Raft, or any of the guys in their gangster movies. The role demanded it, they went out and they did it. The strange thing about the Krays, and what is in a way at the heart of their downfall, is that the strength which they got from being identical twins. But at the same time, it was that which destroyed them.
Police got interested in them because only become really interested when they knew about the murders. That's when the police become very interested in the Krays.
The Krays got wind of the investigation, but it was already too late. On the morning of May the 9th, 1968, the criminal empire of London's most feared gangsters would crash around them. A special police task force had patched together evidence linking the Krays to the murders of George Cornell and Jack the Hat McVitie. Police surrounded the tower block the Krays had lived in since the old family house had been demolished less than a year before. At 6 in the morning, the police raced into the building and smashed open the door of the Krays' apartment. Reg and Ron were surprised in their beds and arrested. The Krays' 10-year reign of terror was finally over, but their legend was only beginning. Throughout their lives they had stuck together, plotted together, fought together, even killed together. And now they were going to prison together. The Krays' trial created a sensation.
I was very shocked by the change in their appearance, because you could see Reggie's life was written on his face, and he wasn't happy. He wasn't enjoying it at all. I think he was terrified. He knew that he was not going to see the light of day again. Oh, Ronnie was off to the moon. He really didn't have a clue what was happening to him. Ronnie saw me from the dock, and he wrote me a little note, which he handed down, saying, "Dear Miss Lethbridge, you're more beautiful than ever. When I get out of this, I'm going to take you to the moon." And I'm quite certain that he believed it.
The twins were sentenced to 30 years imprisonment, the longest murder sentence handed out by an English court. They became Britain's first celebrity convicts. Over the years, the Krays' notoriety grew into a legend. A stream of people came to visit them.
I went to visit Ronnie in Broadmoor. After he'd been probably in for about 5 years, I had tea with him. And he really was the Queen Mother then. He came in and motioned for him to sit down, nice table, poured the tea, very gracious host. Then said, "Would you like a meat pie? They warm them up lovely."
The twins received a deluge of fan mail. Amazingly, Ron got married, not just once, but twice. His second wife was a good-looking former kissogram girl called Kate Howard. His fellow criminals were baffled.
Why would he get married? He liked colours.
Why the young women marry lots of folio men who had a lot of money or a lot of fame? They were famous. They were names. They were celebrities. They were up there.
The truth was that Ron got married for publicity, to help the legend. And Reg also married again, this time to Roberta Jones, a woman 26 years his junior. On March the 16th, 1995, Ronnie Kray collapsed and died from a heart attack. He was 62. The twins were finally separated by death, the only thing that could come between them. Ron was given a royal funeral, orchestrated from prison by his grieving twin Reg, who was given special permission to attend.
And they left from the undertakers in through Green Road with a horse-drawn cortege. The streets were packed, as though for a royal occasion.
I knew him from the snooker hall where my mates used to always go there a couple of times. Then I met him up the double R's. I was served by Reggie, a pint, because they first took over, and they were serving behind the bar. And he said, "What do you want, mate?" I said, "Pint of ale, please." And as he was putting the pint, staring at me in the eyes, seemed to go right through you. If he'd been a stranger, I knew who he was. Good job I did.
Reggie's favourite saying, "You'll disappear from the face of the earth." And that's what they did. They disappeared from the face. No body, no crime. They deep freeze the bodies. When they took them out the deep freeze, they cut them out. There's no blood, because they're frozen stiff. They burnt the bodies, and there's nothing for anyone to find.
There's nothing left, and just sling the ashes away outside New Scotland Yard, Wandsworth, anywhere. That's the end of the story then. No evidence anywhere at all. Simple as that.
To be honest with you, all I know is there's 7 people that they have killed. There's probably more, I don't know, but there's 7 people that I know that they have killed.
Because the nature of homicidal schizophrenia is that it gets worse. And also, as the battles went on between them, the battles for dominance continued and got worse and worse. They were all in competition. And it's this strain between the two of them that one side of them, they adored each other, they lived for each other, and the other side, they hated each other.
I call them 2 mad March hares. That's what I call them. They were mad. You can't say what them 2 got up to. They've got to be mad. The same people don't do that type of thing.
He became increasingly paranoid like his brother. And so in the end, you've got this pair of linked paranoid schizophrenics who were in charge of London but not in charge of themselves.
It's true that Jules did call him a puff. Ronnie Kray. He did call Ronnie Kray a puff.
Ron really had to do something. And what could he do? If he gave in, the whole myth, the whole of this facade that he built up on himself would go. So he did what a man had to do.
And Ronnie Kray went up to him, and, well, I don't know how he didn't miss, because he had very bad eyesight, Ronnie Kray.
In our world, that's how it goes. So that was sad, in a way, I suppose, when Ronnie shot George Cornell, because they were great pals.
I think that probably Reggie would have been much more ease with himself if he had come out, and if he had not attempted to marry her and the rest of it, because that was a tragedy and destroyed that poor little girl's life.
There's lots of people walking around in the East End of London that's been hit on the chin by Reggie, but I wouldn't say that about Ronnie. There'd be a different kettle of fish with Ronnie, because Ronnie wouldn't be happy with just hitting you on the chin. He'd look for you until he found you, and he would hurt you. Simple as that. You would fear Ronnie. There's no 2 ways about it. If Reggie sent for you and wanted to see you in Valence Road, you'd go round and see him. You'd have a cup of tea with him and you'd walk out. If Ronnie sent for you, you'd take 6 pairs of pants with you. That's the difference between the 2 of them.
Reg all his life had this thing that he had to look after this sick, unstable, identical twin brother, and he did look after him. The only trouble was the unstable, mentally sick twin was the dominant. If Ronnie hadn't been quite so balmy and hadn't killed George Cornell, because he's supposed to have called him a fat poof, they were stone rich geezers. They were in most of the frauds in the East End, a lot of protection, a lot of rackets. They really, really didn't need to kill people. But once that killing had happened, then that increased their terror ratio enormously, you see, particularly with Ronnie. He was a paranoid schizophrenic and he was mad. But he was fascinated by this whole illusory world of gangsterdom. For Ronnie, I think the barriers between real crime and film crime were very blurred, and I think he often stepped over them.
Driving force behind the two of them, and being twins and brothers, they urged each other on and tried to, like one would try and do better than the other one. I've done that, you know, I've got this and I've managed to do this. I mean, Ronnie Kray was the stronger personality out of the two, and the more dominant of the two. But you knew they was for fame and maybe not fortune, but they was going to make their mark on the world, you know, from young. You knew that. I mean, I'm in several photographs from the early days, but I was only trying to keep a low profile, even though I was there at these different events and meetings over the years. I was, a lot of people didn't really know why I was there or what I was up to or what I was doing, but they invited me to lots of openings of different gymnasiums and clubs, and I was put in different bits of action that they had going, because they needed me as an ally, you know, because it would give them a bit more strength to know that I was behind the scenes, who could come in like with a sort of counter punch, or if they needed any help. And I think I must have helped them to get to where they were, you know, by being associated with them.
To be honest with you, all I know is there's 7 people that they have killed. There are probably more, I don't know, but there's 7 people that I know that they have killed.
I think they were so carried away by the role they'd got themselves into as gangster killers, they had to do it.
The twins had a twisted plan for fame. They would murder their way into the history books.
They were all in competition. And it's this strain between the two of them, that one side of them, they adored each other, they lived for each other, and the other side, they hated each other.
I think they always longed to be part of the establishment. Rather like the American mafia godfathers becoming legit. They would have loved to have been legit and to have been accepted into the other world. Not the underworld, but the above the ground world.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please join our Facebook group. It's called Krays Crime Lords of London. We're a friendly, moderated group with over 1,000 Kray and other celebrated gangster videos available for view. There's also thousands of images in the photos sections. The link for the group is in the YouTube description section. I hope we see you there soon.
Leave a like and subscribe.